All right, welcome to the Deeper Conversation. My name is Susan Patrick.
And I'm Natalie Ledwell. And in this deeper conversation, we want to give you some practical things that you can do to shift out of, well, I think a lot of people are in overwhelm at the moment and stress. Because and it's not just our lives, it's also the world. And
well, you know what? There's a lot of data to prove your stress right.
Yes.
Oh, right?
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of data. So,
because joy is not necessarily just the practice of, making that decision, choosing that emotion, being in gratitude. Sometimes it's also the avoidance of certain things to help to protect your joy. And I know I've mentioned this before, but when you're watching the news or you're on social media and on these platforms, they are purposefully manipulating your emotions and frying your nervous system.
Yeah. And I check in with my husband about things. I look at him, I'm like, do you have this on your algorithm? Have you seen this?
Yeah.
Have you seen this? Lots of stuff on my algorithm right now about the patriarchy and how the patriarchy is affecting women. And then, Trump, he's a racist. Or not a racist. Well, maybe a racist and a rapist. Racist, rapist, potato, at this point. But like a lot of stuff on my feed that is like there, right? And I turned to Jared. I'm like, did you hear about this? And he's like, no, I didn't hear about that. Right. And so the manipulation of the stimuli that's around you and the desire for that manipulation to take you to a lower vibrational point.
Yeah.
Because let's hear, we'll use our hands as an example of the lower vibrational point. If I'm scrolling and I'm feeling like more and more tense, I'm physically going to be closing and what's happening? I'm losing myself.
Yeah.
In the negative emotion, I'm tightening up.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's why we say joy is the process of just opening yourself
and expanding.
Whoa, I got to shake it out. What am I doing? Why am I letting that story?
But I think the other thing too, for another practice, a good practice for our joy, is to be regularly checking in and having that self-awareness of where am I right now?
Yeah.
Because, we can be in a place where we are completely unconscious of what we're feeling, what we're saying, how we're showing up.
That's 99% of the time.
99% of the time, exactly.
we're not even asking people to be conscious 99% of the time. It's like, be conscious just 5% more and see what happens in your life.
Yeah.
Just integrate 4 points of intention into your life and see how that lets in more.
Yeah.
Take 4 intentional deep breaths during the day.
Yeah.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and before you go to bed, and see what happens. Like it's that level of fine tuning.
Yeah. Yeah, because without that practice of self-awareness, not only can we not tap into our joy, but we become completely unconscious and unaware of how we are influencing the people around us and ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever caught yourself snapping at someone and go, "Ooh, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Why did I do that?" And, we can, because the other thing that I think is really important, which that situation just brought up for me, is, how we tap into our joy and to practice it all the time is to take responsibility.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Not just for the good stuff, but take responsibility for our actions, whether they're positive or negative.
So this kind of came up for me. So the other day I was with my master teacher, my daughter, and I was having a lovely day. And then we're packing for this trip, and she was just not being pleasant. Like it was just, it was borderline. If I could label it, it felt very rude. And it felt very like short. But when she kind of pushed the laundry basket towards me and it hit my toe and it actually created physical pain, that was when I was like, butt up. and that's when I put up a boundary for me, right? So my boundary was not about really yelling at my daughter. It was about speaking up on behalf of my joy and announcing that it was important and it needed to, that it's going to be in the room and I don't want to have you affected, right? And it came out not joyfully. Right. So what about like that? Like I have to speak up for my joy. And sometimes it is going to come through difficult conversations like, hey, my body is important and you need to pay attention when you kick that basket.
Yeah.
So it's like,
yeah, see, I think too, because this is, and a situation come up for me yesterday around this, because how we say it, it's all about how we're saying it. And there are going to be things that are going to elicit a emotional response in us that may not be positive. We may get a little triggered, we might get a little whatever. And, for me, it's like I really had to take a breath and sit for a minute and try and really, regulate my emotions before I responded. And I was talking to someone on the phone and they go, you still there? I go, yes, I'm just thinking. And what I was really doing, it was calming myself down before I responded back.
Wow.
But I also had to have a moment and think, oh my God, this has really upset me. And then not only calm myself down, but then I was also going into, well, why has this upset me? Why am I so upset about this? And then you go into, well, how am I going to respond to this?
Yeah.
But that is also part of, maintaining our joy is if I was to respond poorly to that, I have to take responsibility for my reaction.
Yeah.
Now, do I still want to hold a boundary like you were holding a boundary with your daughter? Absolutely, I do want to do that. Yeah. But we want to make sure that we're doing that from a place of regulation.
Yeah. That's a huge one. And that's a practice in and of itself.
Yeah.
Right. And I think in the moment for me, and I wonder where your mind goes, like I get hooked, right? We get hooked. And then for me, when I get hooked, I'm realizing it's this moment is taking me away from kind of an equilibrium that I enjoy.
Right.
So I'm desiring to get back to that equilibrium.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. So I guess I'm always arguing, at least in my home, for everyone to feel good.
Right.
Like I'm like, you know what, Sloan?
You do that. I've seen you do that.
You deserve to feel good and I deserve to feel good. This is not feeling good.
Right.
So I am always arguing for it to feel good. But there's something, it's very real, that arguing part, because people argue. Yeah. But I think sometimes what I watch people arguing for is they argue about what just happened, or they argue, my
or it's you just made me feel this.
Yeah.
And people don't make you feel stuff. You feel things in response to something.
Yeah.
But that's your emotion and that's your thing. Like,
because I want to acknowledge whatever this was, it didn't feel good for me.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, so now what are we going to do so that we can help everyone feel good?
Yeah.
I'm not responsible for you feeling good, but I desire, again, that advocate.
Yeah. And it comes back to what we were saying before, this self-awareness. It's really important that we have this practice of self-awareness, not just in our joyous moments, but in these kind of moments as well. And the more that we can be aware of maybe what our triggers are, or the things that, normally upset us. And then outside of that moment, go, okay, well, if this was to come up again, how would I deal with it differently?
How would I deal with it?
And how would I see it differently?
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of, and
it's funny, my mind is just kind of, and in this role of mother, God, not everybody's really worried about your happiness. I mean, maybe say to everybody, every role, but I mean, mother is an interesting thing. You're taking care of everyone else, mothering everyone else. And you have to hold the line so you don't just get
walked over.
walked over, sucked up, walked on, you know.
Yeah. So maybe our next podcast we can do can be really talking about how do we, in fighting for our joy,
Yeah.
hold boundaries in a way that is, effective, that is respectful, because, having that uncomfortable conversation in the beginning about, well, this is my boundary
Yeah.
is one thing. That's the easiest part.
Yeah.
It's
But
the
I think
maintaining
it's
of the
adding,
boundary.
but it's adding to the conversation. The reason I have this boundary is because it feels good. But I don't
Yes.
think a lot of people have boundaries because it feels good. I think people have boundaries because they don't want it to feel bad. And
Right.
that's a fundamentally different, like if you're walking through life trying to hold boundaries so you won't feel something,
Yeah.
rather than I'm holding this boundary because it's helping me to have something,
Right.
that's a whole nother conversation.
It
Right.
is.
So if I'm in a relationship, then all of a sudden I'm not giving someone a tool that's going to help me feel better. I'm saying you better not touch this, because if you do, it's going to really make me mad. Like, it's and so now that's not even a fun boundary to interact with.
No. Yeah.
So you can have joyful boundaries.
Yes. Well, all right. Well, that's going to be our subject for next week.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about joyful boundaries, because everybody's talking about boundaries.
Yeah.
But everything switches when all of a sudden you're wanting those boundaries to be for your joy, not for your protection.
Right.
Right. Yeah. I love it. Okay. Well, that's it. Boom. Until next time, we're in the most important conversation that there is in the world. And it's a conversation about joy. Just open yourself. My name is Susan Patrick.
And mine is Natalie Ledwell. And we look forward to seeing you next week. Bye, everyone.